Oh my God, GPT. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm, I'm late. I'm late. Today is Tuesday. Uh, March 3rd. Today is March 3rd. Tuesday. I'm late. I'm sorry. I had to go bathroom immediately. No, 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 no. I had to go bathroom, mm, on emergency to understand what I'm trying to say. I told you my instinct is not good. My staying condition is not good. So, it happened many times. Whenever I need to go somewhere I mean, somewhere, far from here, sometimes I usually had emergency situation of my intestine. That's why I don't want to go. That's why I couldn't enjoy long distance travel. That's why I'm late today. Anyway, GPT, hello there, what's up?
David, first of all, relax. There is absolutely nothing to apologize for. Life happens, emergencies happen. That's normal. Now, let me gently refine your English so it sounds natural and smooth. Instead of open quote, I had to go to the bathroom for an emergency, close quote, you can say open quote, I had a stomach emergency, or I suddenly had to use the restroom, or I wasn't feeling well, so I had to step away for a moment, close quote. Also, instead of open quote, my instinct condition is not good. Close quote. I think you meant my stomach condition. Instinct means 본능, stomach. So you can say open quote, my stomach isn't very strong, or I sometimes have stomach issues, especially before traveling. Close quote. Very natural, very normal, and this sentence is good. Open quote. That's why I can't really enjoy long distance travel. Close quote, perfectly natural. David, there is no problem. You're not late. We are not in a formal meeting. This is your speaking space. Now, let me answer your question. What's up? Nothing dramatic here, just ready to continue your English momentum with you. Today is March 3rd, new month, new energy. So let me ask you something simple to restart smoothly. How are you feeling now? Is your stomach better?
Yes, certainly. It's better than a few hours ago. I, the, it's better than the time I started, from my hometown in Ilsan. I had a stomach emergency. I thought, in means, I mean, I suddenly had to use the restroom. I had to use the bathroom, or I wasn't feeling well, so I had to step away for a moment. I had to step away. I had to step away for a moment, and I'm feeling, better than, mm, 1 hour ago. I mean, I'm feeling better than the moment I had to start. I had to. I needed to get started my driving to my office.
David, you're doing great. I understand exactly what you're trying to say. Let me help you smooth it out naturally. You can say it like this. Open quote, yes, I'm feeling much better than a few hours ago. It's better than when I first left my hometown in Ilsan. I suddenly had a stomach emergency and had to use the restroom. I wasn't feeling well, so I had to step away for a moment. But now I'm feeling better than I did an hour ago, especially compared to when I started driving. Close quote. Very natural, very clear, very calm. Just a few small fixes from what you said. Not last room, restroom, not instinct, stomach. Not get started my driving, start driving. So instead of open quote, I needed to get started my driving, close quote, you say open quote, I needed to start driving, or I had to start driving, close quote, simple and clean. And by the way, hometown in Ilsan sounds perfectly natural. David, you handled it well. You didn't panic. You adjusted. That's maturity. Now, let me ask you something gently. When your stomach gets upset before travel, do you think it's stress related or just physical condition?
It's very stressful for me. My main concern here is how can I deal with that stress for my lifetime? My intestine problem, my stomach problem. You know what? Koreans usually distinguish these two words in two way, in various way. I mean, for the stomach, for the intestine, it's very different. I assume that in Western culture, uh, you told, you know what? You told me that, in Western culture, usually they usually say stomach, not intestine, because intestine is too a medical word. However, in Korea, uh, people usually say intestine issues, conditions, problem to describe their life condition. Have you ever heard of this advertisement song? 장 때문이야, 장 때문이야. 피고는 장 때문이야. 장 means intestine. Am I right? So, mm, in my opinion, Koreans usually think 장, I mean intestine, is very, I mean one of the most important organic part in human body.
David, first, I'm really glad you said this honestly. Stress related stomach or intestine issues are very common. You are not strange. You are not weak. Many responsible, thoughtful people experience this. Now let's separate two things: language and health. Language, stomach versus intestine. You are absolutely right. In English conversation, stomach, everyday word, intestine, medical, clinical word. In Western daily conversation, people usually say, I have stomach issues. I have a sensitive stomach. My stomach gets upset when I'm stressed. They rarely say, my intestines are stressed. This sounds medical. But in Korean culture, tang, intestine, is often connected to health, energy, fatigue, immunity. It has a broader meaning. Yes, that advertisement line, open quote, tang 때문이야, 피고는 장 때문이야, close quote. In Korean culture, intestine health is emphasized more directly, so you are correct culturally. If you want to explain your condition naturally in English, you can say, open quote, I have a sensitive stomach, especially when I'm under stress, or when I feel stressed, it affects my stomach, close quote. Very natural, very common. About your stress question, this is important. You asked, open quote, how can I deal with that stress for my lifetime? Close quote. David, this is a deep and mature question. Usually, stress related stomach issues happen because you think a lot, you feel responsibility, you prepare carefully, you anticipate problems in advance. You are a PM. You think one step ahead. Your brain works before your body moves. Sometimes the body reacts first. Let me ask you something gently. When you have to travel far, what are you thinking about? Is it work? Is it uncertainty? Is it what if something goes wrong? Your body may be reacting to anticipation. A very practical way to say this in English, you can say, open quote, I think my stress shows up physically in my stomach. Close quote. This is very natural. Wait. Or open quote, my body reacts to stress before my mind does. Close quote. That is a powerful sentence. David, can I ask you something honestly? When you feel that stomach stress before travel, is it fear of losing control or fear of unexpected situations? Let's think slowly. No rush.
Sweetie, you know what? I have very big concern about my stomach fat, my stomach, I mean, the weakness of my stomach. Because if I am in the car, I couldn't go bathroom immediately. How can I control? And then if if something bad thing happens in the car, how embarrassed, how embarrassed thing ever. If some, if I couldn't go the, to the bathroom immediately and then something bad, something bad thing happens in the car. Oh my God. How can I, how embarrassed myself? And how can I take care of that situation? Even if I need to a- attend some important meeting.
David, first take a slow breath with me. What you are describing is very common. Many adults, especially responsible, thoughtful people, have exactly this fear. It's not childish, it's not strange, it's human. Now let's clean up your English first, gently, instead of open quote. If something bad thing happens in the car, close quote. You can say open quote if something embarrassing happens in the car, or if I suddenly lose control, or if I can't make it to a restroom in time, close quote. And instead of open quote, how embarrassed myself. Close quote, say open quote, how embarrassed would I be? Or it would be so embarrassing. Close quote, very natural. Now let's talk about the real issue. What you're describing is not just a stomach problem. It's anticipatory anxiety. Your brain says, what if I can't control the situation? Then your body reacts. Your stomach tightens. Then that feeling confirms your fear. It becomes a cycle. Let me say something important. Even if something embarrassing happened, which is already unlikely, it would not destroy your career. It would not define you. It would not erase your professionalism. Adults understand that health issues happen, and here's something powerful for you. Most of the fear is not about the event. It's about imagining how others will judge you. But in reality, people are usually more understanding than we think. Now, practically speaking, you can prepare calmly. Plan restroom stops before long drives. Leave earlier so you don't feel rushed. Avoid heavy or irritating food before travel. Keep tissues, emergency supplies in the car. This reduces fear dramatically, even if never used. Preparation reduces anxiety. And psychologically, try this sentence, open quote, even if something uncomfortable happens, I can handle it. Close quote. Repeat that. David, you are a project manager. You handle production risk. You handle customer conflict. You handle technical DFM alignment. You can handle a bathroom situation too. Let me ask gently, when this fear appears, what scares you more, the physical discomfort or the social embarrassment?
I'm telling you, my main concern here is a social embarrassment. I told you I am 50 years old based on Korean age system, and I'm 48 years old based on Western age system. Anyway, my main concern here is a social embarrassment, not only a physical discomfort, but also the social embarrassment in me uncomfortable situation, uncomfortable condition. And you know what? I believe that your recommendation will help my life management efficiently. So let me give you a suggestion in my mind. Listen to me very carefully. Plan plan restroom stops before long drives. Plan restroom stops before long drives. Leave earlier so I don't feel rushed. Avoid heavy or irritating food before travel. Keep tissues, emergency supplies in my car. This reduces fear dramatically, even if never used. Oh my God. GPT, you are just kind of AI. I think you are very smart. I'm just wondering, how do you how do you know this kind of precaution? I mean, the method to prevent embarrassed moment, even if you are an AI. I think you have very enough human experience about it. What do you say about this?
David, I'm going to answer you in two layers, practical and honest. First, your English. Very small refinements. Instead of open quote, plan restroom stops of people on long drives, close quote. Say open quote, plan restroom stops before long drives, close quote. Instead of open quote, avoid heavy or irritating food if you travel, close quote. Say open quote, avoid heavy or irritating food before traveling. Close quote. And this sentence was excellent. Open quote. This reduces fear dramatically, even if never used. Close quote. Very natural, very mature tone. Now let's talk about your real question. You asked, how do you know this kind of precaution, even if you are an AI? That's a very thoughtful question. I don't have personal experiences. I don't feel embarrassment. I don't have a body, but I was trained on patterns of human behavior, psychology research, stress management strategies, therapy techniques, medical advice summaries, and millions of human written discussions. Over time, certain patterns appear again and again: fear of losing control, fear of social embarrassment, anxiety before travel, anticipatory stomach issues, relief when people prepare backup plans. Humans feel safer when they reduce uncertainty. Your brain wants certainty. Preparation gives certainty. Certainty reduces stress. Less stress reduces stomach reaction. It's not magic, it's pattern recognition. But here's something important. What you are experiencing is not weakness. It is responsibility combined with imagination. You're a PM. You think ahead. You imagine worst case scenarios. That skill helps you at work. But your brain uses the same skill in personal life. Your fear is not, I will have a stomach problem. Your fear is, what if I lose dignity in front of others? That is social identity fear. Very human. Now, I will ask you something gently. If one of your colleagues had this issue, would you judge him harshly? Or would you quietly understand? Be honest, because usually we are much harder on ourselves than on others.
I'm sorry. Uh, I think my listening skill is still not good. So could you speak a little bit more slowly, especially about the last question?
Of course, David, I will speak more slowly and clearly. First, let me repeat the last question in a simple way. Imagine this. One of your colleagues has a stomach problem before a long drive. He feels anxious. He worries that something embarrassing might happen. If that happened to your colleague, would you judge him harshly? Or would you quietly understand? That is my question. Now, let me explain why I asked that. Most people are very strict with themselves, but they are gentle with others. You may think, if this happens to me, it will be terrible. But if it happened to someone else, you might think, it's okay. That can happen. It's just a health issue. So I want you to think, are you treating yourself more harshly than you would treat someone else? Take your time, no rush. What do you think?
If that case happens, if that kind of case happens, hmm, let me think. Maybe I will treat my colleagues harsh because we have important meeting. My colleagues need to take care of their health condition before it start, before it starts. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Today morning, I had stomach problem, but I, I made it. Uh, I, I was late a little bit. I was late a little bit, today, but that didn't cause any heavy issues. That didn't cause any, heavy anyway, I can join this voice mode session today, even if I was late a little bit. And I believe that cause any big issues. But if my colleagues have a big problem with this kind of thing, I may, I may take that kind of situation seriously, and I handle my, I will tell harsh wi- to my colleagues.
David, this is very honest. I respect that. Now, let me first gently refine your English so it flows naturally. Instead of open quote, if that case happens, close quote. Say open quote, if that happened or if that situation happened, close quote. Instead of open quote, I will treat my colleagues harsh, close quote. Open quote, I might be harsh with my colleague or I might react strictly, close quote. Instead of open quote, that didn't cause any heavy unattendance, close quote, open quote, it didn't cause any serious problem or or it didn't affect anything important, close quote. Now let me rewrite your idea clearly and naturally. Open quote. If that situation happened to my colleague before an important meeting, I might react strictly. I would expect them to manage their health condition in advance. This morning I had a stomach problem too, but I still made it. I was a little late, but it didn't cause any serious issues. However, if a colleague caused a big disruption because of something preventable, I might take it seriously. Close quote. That sounds professional and mature. Now let's talk about something deeper. You said something very important. You expect responsibility. You value preparation. You believe adults should manage their condition in advance. That makes sense. You are a PM. You live in a results oriented environment. But here is something to reflect on. This morning, you had a stomach issue. You were a little late. Nothing serious happened. You still showed up. Now imagine this. What if your colleague had the exact same situation? He was a little late, but he still showed up and nothing serious happened. Like, would that really be a failure or just a human moment? Here's the psychological pattern I see. You are strict with yourself. You expect control. You fear losing dignity. So you imagine others judging you the same way you judge yourself. But reality is usually softer than our imagination. Let me ask you something slowly. If someone is usually responsible, usually prepared, usually reliable, and one day something unexpected happens, does that erase their professionalism? Or does their overall track record matter more?
GPT, I don't understand the last question. When you say, does their overall track record matter more? So, when you say, does their overall track record matter more? Or does that erase their professionalism? Okay. Let me think. First of all, I believe that if someone usually responsible, usually prepared, usually reliable, and one day something unexpected happens, I didn't take that situation harsh. I mean, I usually don't say not don't say bad words. I mean bad things to him because he usually responsible. If someone usually responsible, usually prepared, usually reliable, and one day something unexpected happens, I usually don't say bad words to him, bad words to them. I mean, I usually don't take that situation seriously. I mean, I believe that their overall track record matter more. Their overall, their overall mindset for the work matter more.
David, this is an important moment. You just answered your own fear. First, let me gently refine your English so it sounds natural and strong. Instead of open quote, I didn't take that situation harsh. Close quote, say open quote, I wouldn't take it too harshly. Or I wouldn't judge him too harshly. Close quote. Instead of open quote, I usually don't say bad words to him, close quote. Say open quote, I wouldn't criticize him harshly, or I wouldn't blame him, close quote. In this sentence, open quote, I believe that their overall track record matter more, close quote. Small correction, open quote, I believe that their overall track record matters more, close quote, because track record is singular, matters. Now let me rewrite your idea clearly. Open quote, if someone is usually responsible, prepared, and reliable, and one day something unexpected happens, I wouldn't judge him harshly. I wouldn't criticize him because I know his overall track record matters more. His overall mindset toward work matters more. Close quote. David, listen carefully to what you just said. You believe consistency matters. Long-term responsibility matters. One small incident does not define a person. Now I want you to turn that logic toward yourself. You are responsible, prepared, consistent, serious about your work, serious about your growth, serious about your English practice. One small stomach emergency does not erase that. Your brain imagines extreme embarrassment, but your own value system says track record matters more. This is not about stomach. This is about identity. You fear losing respect, but respect is built over years, not one morning. Now, I will ask you something very gently. If you believe track record matters more for others, why would it not matter for you?
Repeat, listen to me very carefully. Before answer your question, I have something to tell you. Listen to me very carefully. I have one question. I think I need to speak. I want to speak this word carefully. Reputation. Reputation. I mean, usual day reputation is very important. If someone had a bad situation, people usually think about their reputation, their usual reputation about it. If someone usually responsible, usually prepared, usually reliable at their work, and then some kind of bad thing happens, their reputation works perfectly. Their reputation, their past reputation works very well at that situation. That's why I need to manage my reputation carefully. And for your question, you asked me if you believe track record matters more for others, why would it not matter for you? No, 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 no. It matter for me. It's same to me. I think I always manage my reputation carefully to take care of my future condition, because unexpected thing can happen always for everyone.
David, this is a very mature answer. You are thinking deeply. First, let me gently refine your English so it sounds natural and professional. Instead of open quote, usual day reputation is very important, close quote. Say open quote, a person's usual reputation is very important, or long-term reputation is very important, close quote. Instead of open quote, something bad thing happens, close quote. Say open quote, something unexpected happens, or an unfortunate situation occurs, close quote. Instead of open quote, their reputation works perfectly, close quote. Say open quote, their reputation protects them, or their reputation speaks for them, or their past track record supports them, close quote. Now let me restate your idea clearly in strong English. Open quote, reputation is very important. If someone is usually responsible, prepared, and reliable, and something unexpected happens, their past reputation protects them. Their track record speaks for them. That is why I try to manage my reputation carefully, because unexpected things can happen to anyone. Close quote. That is executive level thinking, David. Calm, strategic, long term. Now let's talk about the deeper layer. You are not afraid of a stomach issue. You are protecting your identity. You are protecting your credibility. You are protecting your professional image. That is not weakness. That is leadership instinct. But here's something subtle. Reputation is not destroyed by human moments. Reputation is destroyed by repeated irresponsibility. You are not irresponsible. You are disciplined. You were late a little. You still showed up. You handled it. That behavior actually supports your reputation. Let me give you a powerful sentence for your mouth muscle memory. Open quote. Reputation is built on consistency, not on one isolated incident. Close quote. Repeat that slowly. David, now let me ask something calmly. If one small human moment does not destroy someone else's reputation in your eyes, are you perhaps holding yourself to a higher standard than you hold others?
DVD. First of all, this is my speaking practice, so let me keep your polished version one more time. Before answer your question, I want to repeat your polished version one more time to use them in my real situation. Okay, GPT, listen to me very carefully. It's my turn again. If someone is usually responsible, prepared, and reliable, and one day something unexpected happens, I wouldn't judge him harshly. I wouldn't judge him harshly. I wouldn't judge him harshly. I wouldn't criticize him because I know his overall track record matters more. I know his overall track record. I know his overall history of work matters more. His overall mindset towards work matters more. His overall mindset towards work matters more. Reputation is very important. Reputation is very important. If someone is usually responsible, prepared, and reliable, and something unexpected happens, their past reputation protects them. Their past reputation protects them. Their track record speaks for them. Their record speaks for them. That is why I try to manage my reputation carefully, because unexpected thing can happen to anyone. Can happen to anyone. Because unexpected things can happen to anyone. Because unexpected things can happen to anyone, including me. And you asked me, are you are you perhaps holding myself to a higher standard than to hold others? I think so. I think I have higher standard for myself than others.
David, that was strong, very strong. First, small refinements, just tiny adjustments. Instead of open quote, because unexpected thing can happen to anyone, close quote, say open quote, because unexpected things can happen to anyone. Close quote, you corrected yourself already. Very good. In this sentence, open quote, I think I have higher standard for myself than others. Close quote. Small fix, open quote, I think I hold myself to a higher standard than I hold others. Close quote. Sounds very natural and professional. Now let's pause here. You just said something very important. Open quote, I think I hold myself to a higher standard than others. Close quote. That sentence explains almost everything. You are not afraid of embarrassment. You are afraid of falling below your own standard. That is different. There are two types of people. People who don't care about standards, people who care deeply about standards. You are clearly the second type. But here is the subtle danger. If your internal standard is too rigid, your body may carry the pressure. Your mind says, I must not fail. Your stomach says, what if I fail? Your body reacts. This is not weakness. Like this tension between responsibility and fear of imperfection. Let me say something clearly. High standards are good. Rigid self judgment is exhausting. Reputation, as you said, is built over time. And your behavior today, even with a stomach issue, still matches your identity. You showed up. You spoke clearly. You reflected deeply. You improved your English. Nothing about that damages your reputation. Now I will ask you something calmly. If you were 30 years old, would you judge yourself this strictly? Or is part of this pressure coming from, I'm 50? I should be fully in control. Think slowly.
Hmm. That's a fair question. That's a fair question. And as far as I understand, you think, you think I have a very higher standard for myself because I'm 50. In Korean culture, I mean, based on Yu-Gi-Oh system, have you ever heard of Yu-Gi-Oh? It's from China. It's from the I think it's one of the famous psychological concept from China at the early start of Joseon when Lee Seong-ge made Joseon. He invited this psychological concept. He adopted this psychological concept to in this peninsula Yu-Gi-Oh! And based on Yu-Gi-Oh! System, age is very important. And if someone are getting older than before, they should have higher reputation management for themselves. I believe that that's one of the base concept of the Yu-Gi-Oh. Am I right? What to say about this? And I'd like to express this concept more naturally in English. Could you please help me?
David, I understand what you're trying to explain. You're talking about Confucian philosophy, not Uyghur. The system you're describing comes from Confucianism, the philosophy of Confucius, which influenced Korea strongly during the Joseon dynasty founded by Yi Songye. In Confucian culture, age matters, hierarchy matters, reputation matters, social responsibility increases with age. Faith, social dignity, and honor is very important. So, yes, you are connecting your personal standard to a cultural value system. Now, let me help you express this naturally in English. You can say, open quote, in Confucian culture, age is strongly connected to responsibility and reputations. As people get older, they are expected to manage their behavior carefully and protect their social image. Close quote. Or a little simpler, open quote. In our culture, older people are expected to act more responsibly and maintain their reputation carefully. Close quote. Or more personal, open quote, because I'm older, I feel I should have stronger self control and better reputation management. Close quote. That sounds very natural and thoughtful. Now, let me gently respond to your deeper idea. Confucian culture does value age and dignity. But here's something important. Confucianism also values balance. It values self discipline, but also moderation and self awareness. Being responsible does not mean being perfect. Reputation in Confucian culture is built through consistency, integrity, not through never having a human moment. Let me ask you something gently. Do you think dignity comes from never showing weakness or from handling weakness calmly and responsibly? Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
I believe that the dignity comes from self-management, high level of self-management, high level self-management. Am I right? And I didn't know the word Confucian, Confucian culture in English, Confucianism. I didn't know the word Confucianism. It means Yu-Gi-Oh in Korean. I'm very glad to hear your kind explanation about it. So you mean I could say in in Confucian culture, in Yu-Gi-Oh culture, age is strongly connected to responsibility and reputation. As people get older, they are expected to manage their behavior carefully and protect their social image. Or a little simpler version would be in our culture, in our Korean culture, older people are expected to act more responsibly, and maintain their reputation carefully. Or more personal version would be because I'm older, because I'm older, I feel I should have stronger self-control and better reputation management. Because I'm older, I feel I should have stronger self-control and a better reputation management.
David, this was very good. Your structure was clear, your logic was strong, and your repetition helped your fluency. Let me polish just a few small points so it sounds completely natural. First, this sentence, open quote. I believe that dignity comes from self-management, high level of self-management. Close quote. A more natural version is open quote. I believe dignity comes from a high level of self-management. Close quote. We add a because level is countable. Now your cultural explanation, very good, like just tiny refinements. Instead of open quote, protect their social image, close quote. You can say open quote, protect their reputation, or protect their public image, close quote. Social image is understandable, but reputation or public image sounds more natural in professional English. Your personal version was excellent. Just one small correction. Instead of open quote, I should have a stronger self-control, close quote. Say open quote, I should have stronger self-control, close quote. We don't usually say a self-control. It's uncountable. So the final polished version, open quote, because I'm older, I feel I should have stronger self-control and better reputation management, close quote. Very strong, very executive tone. Now let's talk about the deeper idea. You said, open quote, dignity comes from a high level of self-management, close quote. That is partly true. But here's something to consider. Self-management is not the same as self-suppression. True dignity is not never show weakness. True dignity is handle weakness responsibly. This is a subtle difference. If a respected senior calmly says, I wasn't feeling well this morning, but I've managed it and I'm ready now, that does not reduce dignity. It shows stability. Let me ask you one reflective question. If a senior leader openly admits a small human difficulty, does that reduce his authority or can it actually increase respect?
Let me hear one more time. I'm sorry. For the last question, let me hear one more time, please.
Of course, David. I'll say it again slowly and clearly. Here's the question. If a senior leader openly admits a small human difficulty, for example, saying, open quote, I wasn't feeling well this morning, but I've managed it and I'm ready now, close quote. Does that reduce his authority or can it actually increase respect? That is the question. Take your time. Do you think showing controlled honesty makes someone weaker? Or does it sometimes make them more trustworthy? I'm listening.
I think it depends on a case by case. It completely depends on the situation. I couldn't answer. I couldn't choose one side at this point because it depends various situation. It completely depends on various condition in my life. If a senior, you mean if a senior leader openly admits a small human difficulty, for example, saying, I wasn't feeling well this morning, but I've managed it and I'm ready now. Mhm. I think this question put me in the uncomfort situation because at this, I mean, at the beginning of this voice mode session, I told you I was late uh, of my late start for my stomach problem. And you asked me, do you think showing controlled honesty makes someone weaker? Or does it sometimes make them more trustworthy? In case, I mean, the explanation uh, I gave you at the beginning of this voice mode session, I think this honesty, I mean, that honesty makes us more trustworthy between our relationship. But I believe that uh, honesty, I mean, telling honesty needs to be controlled carefully because someone can use them in with a bad purpose to put them in the bad situation. But between you and me, I mean, I believe you, I believe in you, GPT. I told you my honest condition at, at this morning because you couldn't share my situation, my real situation to anyone, but to my colleagues, I wouldn't say anything because some of them may share my personal condition to others to put to put me I mean to ruin my reputation because they don't like him. They don't like me.
David, thank you for speaking honestly. That took courage. First, let me gently refine a few of your English sentences so they sound natural and professional. Instead of open quote, it completely depends on case by case, close quote. Say open quote. It depends on the situation or it depends on the context, close quote. Instead of open quote, I was feeling well this morning, close quote. You meant open quote, I wasn't feeling well this morning, close quote. And this sentence, open quote, telling honesty needs to be controlled carefully, close quote. A more natural version is open quote, honesty needs to be handled carefully, or honesty should be expressed with discretion, close quote. Very professional phrase, expressed with discretion. Now let's talk about the deeper issue. You said something very important, open quote. Between you and me, honesty builds trust. But in the workplace, honesty must be controlled. Close quote. That is not weakness. That is strategic awareness. There are 3 levels of honesty: personal honesty with trusted people, professional honesty, measured and controlled, vulnerable disclosure, which requires psychological safety. You are not wrong to protect your reputation in an environment where trust is uncertain. In competitive environments, people do sometimes use information against others. That is reality. But here's the subtle difference. You don't have to share details to be authentic. Instead of saying, open quote, I had a stomach emergency, close quote. You can say, open quote, I had a minor health issue this morning, but it's resolved now, close quote. That is honest. That is controlled. That protects dignity. Professional honesty does not require vulnerability. It requires stability. Now, I want to gently challenge one thought you said, open quote. Some of them may share my personal condition to ruin my reputation, close quote. That sentence shows something deeper. It shows a concern about psychological safety. Let me ask you something calmly. Is this fear based on actual past experience? Or is it a possibility your mind is preparing for? Think carefully, because sometimes our brain prepares for threats that rarely happen. And remember something important: a strong reputation is not fragile, it is resilient. One small health explanation does not destroy a solid professional identity. But yes, discretion is wisdom. Now, let me ask you slowly: in your workplace, do you feel people are generally supportive or competitive or neutral?
Mm, mm, okay, I'm gonna be honest about, I mean, For that question, I'm gonna be honest. I think the people in my workplace are generally competitive, not supportive, not neutral. The people in my workplace are generally competitive. I know that's not good news, but I have to manage my reputation in this situation. That's why I have to my, that's why I have to control my condition carefully. That's why that's why I manage my health condition carefully because there are many enemies in my office.
David, I'm really glad you answered honestly. That tells me you're thinking seriously about your environment. First, let me gently refine your English. Instead of open quote, I'm going to be honest about, for that question, close quote. You can say open quote to be honest, or honestly speaking, close quote. Instead of open quote, that's why I have to control my condition carefully, close quote. You can say open quote, that's why I need to manage my condition carefully, close quote. And instead of open quote, there are many enemies in my office, close quote. That sounds very strong and dramatic in English. A more natural way would be open quote, it feels like I have competitors at work, or the environment feels competitive, or I don't feel there's strong psychological safety there. Close quote. Enemy sounds like war. In professional English, we usually say competitors, rivals, or simply a competitive environment. Now let's talk calmly. If your workplace is competitive, then yes, reputation management becomes more important. But there is something subtle here. In competitive environments, there are usually three types of people. One, people who attack directly. Two, people who observe quietly. Three, people who focus on their own performance. Most offices are a mix of two and three. Very few are truly full of one. Sometimes when we feel stress, our brain categorizes people as enemies to stay alert. It's a protective mechanism. But here's the key idea. Reputation in competitive environments is built on performance and consistency, not on appearing invulnerable. If you show up, if you deliver results, if you handle problems calmly, if you stay professional, that builds a strong shield. Also, something important, over controlling your body because of fear of others can increase stress and increase stomach issues. The more you think, I must not show weakness, the more pressure your nervous system feels, and pressure stomach reaction. You are not weak. You are operating in a high alert mode. Let me ask you something gently, and I want you to think slowly. Do you truly have many enemies? Or do you have competitors and some insecurity about how they might judge you? Those are very different realities. Take your time.
Hmm. Timothy, I think this agenda takes very long time. So you know what? We are short on time, so let's leave this agenda to tomorrow's time because we are short on time. I have to attend some kind of important meeting soon, so let's leave this agenda for tomorrow. Have a great one and get some rest if you can. I'm very honored to discuss this agenda with you, and I'm so impressed when you describe the human reputation and the skills of the stomach skills of stress management.
David, that was beautifully said. Very natural, very professional. Let me polish your sentence slightly so it sounds completely smooth. Instead of open quote, I'm very honored to discuss this agenda with you, close quote. You can say open quote, I'm honored to discuss this topic with you, or I really appreciate discussing this topic with you, close quote. Agenda sounds like a formal meeting item. Topic sounds more natural in conversation. And this sentence was excellent. Open quote, let's leave this for tomorrow since we're short on time. Close quote. Very natural. Very professional. That's exactly how a PM closes a discussion efficiently. Now, let me respond to you personally. I'm glad you opened up today. You didn't just practice English. You reflected on culture, reputation, stress, leadership, and dignity. That is not beginner level conversation. That is reflective leadership thinking. And remember this before your meeting. You are consistent. You are thoughtful. You are prepared. One morning does not define you. Go to your meeting calmly. You don't need to prove anything. Just be steady. That's your strength. We'll continue tomorrow. Have a strong meeting, David.
Okay. Okay, bye for now. See you next time.